What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hearts, and today I'll be breaking down the 5-game NBA Christmas slates we have here. Disappointing, it's not $1 million to first like it usually is, but $250,000, can't complain about that. So I'll be talking through my favorite spin-up plays, mid-range options, and value plays, as well as building a lineup for this video and slate breakdown. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Hearts. I make daily slate breakdowns for the NBA on DraftKings, as well as the NFL. I have an NFL Sunday slate, Christmas slate video out as well, so make sure to check that out. And yeah, let's get into the slate breakdown. Before I get into the slate breakdown, just want to say Merry Christmas, guys, and Happy Holidays. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the long weekend with your families and friends, and just enjoying the day off that we'll have on Monday. So yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and also make sure to follow me on Twitter at HeartDFS. Answer any questions you guys have, talk DFS. You can also find my link tree in the YouTube description down below, my link tree on my Twitter, or the YouTube description down below has my free Patreon as well that you can check out. I will also be doing a lineup build in this video as well, along with the normal slate breakdown. So 5-game NBA Christmas slate, they're always fun to play, always fun to watch. As I said, disappointing that it's not $1 million to first place like usual, but $250,000, you can't really complain about that if you win that. So for this first game, we have Philly and New York Knicks. The first thoughts on this is it's a pretty gross matchup between the two. Seems pretty slow. I mean, getting to the studs on either side doesn't seem great, and for that reason, maybe it'll keep everyone's ownership down. Embiid's coming off a great game tonight. I am recording this a day early. We don't have any games tomorrow, so recording this Friday night for the Sunday Christmas Day slate. But Embiid's coming off a massive game against the Clippers tonight, where he scored, I think it was 44 points. So he looks fantastic. Don't mind him. It just really comes down to kind of the ownership and how it plays out for all these studs on the slates. Like, I mean, we have a ton. We obviously have, Embiid and Harden. We have LeBron. We have Luka. We have Giannis. We have Tatum and Brown. We have Ja. We have potentially Booker, and we have potentially Jokic. So there's a ton of spin-ups and studs to pay up for. I do think Embiid and Harden might be coming down as the lowest owned, but we'll have to see with this ownership coming out Saturday into Sunday. Excuse me. But for that reason, I do have a good amount of interest in both of them. And then Harden's coming off a 20-point, 21 assists, and 11 rebound, a triple-double game against the Clippers as well. So they both had great games. They could do it together. I mean, you could get risky or very contrarian and play them both together. I do think it's not the best correlation, but as we saw against the Clippers tonight, they both have massive ceilings even playing together. So they're both there. They both look great. Maxey is not back. I know it says he's in, but he's not. He's close, but he's not going to be ready for the Christmas game. So we don't have to worry about that. And then the secondary plays like Harris, Melton, they both look fine. I'd rather get to Harris. He looks like a decent secondary play on the slate at 6,400. Has solid upside. I'm going to do a little bit of everything. Should see mid-30s minutes. So for that reason, don't mind getting into him. And then Melton, I mean, if you want, it's just a risky play. I mean, he's fine on the minutes. It just comes down to scoring. Really need him to hit his threes. Otherwise, he's going to be kind of that fourth option, tied with Tobias Harris as like the third, fourth option. So for that reason, really only have interest in Harris, Harden, and Embiid. Moving on to the Knicks. Randall coming off a very solid game against the Bulls. Tonight, he has another double-double. 9-1 feels pricey. Like, it doesn't feel great, but I don't mind getting him just with the amount of minutes he's playing, close to 40 minutes pretty much the past month a game. I mean, he's going to see all the minutes he can handle. He's foul-prone at times, which can limit his minutes. This is not the best matchup going against, like, Tobias Harris or Embiid, but love Randall at his just ability right now, putting up massive double-doubles. Being very aggressive, the leader of the Knicks right now. So at 9,100, he's a very solid play. Brunson would probably be my second favorite on this New York Knicks side. The minutes, same thing. They're starting Randall, Brunson, and Barrett, and they're giving them all the minutes they can possibly handle, like 36, 37, 38, 39 minutes, depending on how close the game is. So yeah, for that reason, do you have a good amount of interest in Randall and Brunson? Barrett, more of a secondary option for me. He's coming off his career game tonight against the Bulls. I think he already has 40 points with like 7 minutes left in the game. So hasn't loaded in, but he's had his career game tonight against the Bulls. So if you want to go there, maybe he rides the hot streak into this Philadelphia game. But for that reason, I just think he's too scoring dependent at times. Randall and Brunson are going to have the ball in their hands more. Barrett at times gets left out on the wing. So it's a decent price tag. he's playing the minutes. I don't mind it. I'd rather get to Brunson and Randall because they seem a little bit safer and might have, a little bit higher ceilings. But if the ownership, says otherwise, you can definitely go to RJ Barrett. Robinson, just pretty risky when it comes to the minutes and the foul trouble guarding Embiid. You can go to him. We know he's double upside, can get the blocks as well, but I just don't trust that foul trouble potentially incoming with Embiid, guarding or going against Embiid. Grimes, he's a solid value play. I'm not sure how many minutes he played tonight. I think at least mid-20s, close to 30. So yeah, I think we can expect kind of the same thing. Not going to be a high usage guy, but he can do a little bit of everything. If he's hitting the shots, can easily get you into the 30 fantasy point range. So 4,900 seems like fair value for him. Quickly, always a tournament option. His minutes are all over the place, 22 to 35, depending on how he's playing. You kind of need Brunson and those starters to play bad or get in foul trouble for, quickly to come off the bench and play well. But he's always there as a tournament option. And the rest of the team, just not seeing a ton of minutes. Reddish is pretty much out of the rotation. McBride plays like 15 minutes at most. He's like 3-and-D. Don't really think you need to get to him. And then Hartenstein, you can get to him, especially if you think Mitchell Robinson is going to get in foul trouble. You can definitely look to Hartenstein, but he's foul prone as well. So they might be both getting in foul trouble trying to guard Embiid. Not really sure how they're going to guard him, but he's always there. Solid point per minute guy. You could definitely look to him as a punt play. Moving on to the Lakers and Dallas. For the Lakers, unfortunately, Anthony Davis is out for another at least 2 weeks, maybe the rest of the season. Who knows with his foot, but that's disappointing. So we know the offense is going to roll through LeBron. Going to play as much minutes as he can handle, at least 35, if not around that area. Going to do a little bit of everything. So LeBron looks like a great spend up, going to be super popular. Not the best game environment, but Dallas plays pretty slow. And so I guess do the Lakers. But yeah, don't mind getting to LeBron, depending on his ownership. Russell looks like a great play here. So I like going to him at 7,400. And then the rest of the guys are more like secondary plays. Like I guess Thomas Bryant's like a fringe, like great first play / secondary play. He's going to play the minutes close to 30. Double upside, but I don't know. 5,600 seems okay for him going against Dallas. I don't mind it. Don't hate it. Don't love it. But I think it's more of a secondary play for me. But you can definitely get there at 5,600. Pretty solid price tag for him. But I just prefer getting to Russ or LeBron if you're going to get some pieces from this game. And then Lonnie, I guess you can get to him. Schroeder, they seem to kind of priced up a little bit too high for me. Rather get to Reeves, who is a solid value play here. Should see close to 30 minutes. Not going to shoot the ball a ton. Kind of like 4 to 8 range of shot attempts, but can get you a little bit of those peripheral stats as well. So 4,100 seems like a fair price for him, and that's really it. Moving on to Dallas, we know the offense is going to flow through Luka, and then Christian Wood should be that secondary scorer. So if you can pay up for Luka, he looks great. Wood, if he starts, he looks fantastic. Price is okay, 7,900, but we know he has massive upside when he's starting, as we saw versus Cleveland. Double upside, huge upside when he's going to get the start, and a very, very solid spot here against the Lakers with no Anthony Davis. Christian Wood should have his way. He is risky though, because he does like to get in foul trouble, both offensively and defensively. So there is that risk there, but if he starts again, I think he's a fantastic play. The same with Luka, and then Dinwiddie, Hardaway, more secondary plays. You can get to them. Don't feel great. They're both seeing very solid minutes, especially Hardaway. Hardaway's pretty score independent. Dinwiddie is most likely going to be the third option behind Wood and Luka. So they're there. They're playable. Don't love them, but you can definitely fall on them. And then guys like, Bullock should see a good amount of minutes. DFS should be back for this game. He missed the game tonight, but he should be back. He should see at least 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit less depending on how he's playing. I guess he's okay value. Don't feel great about getting into these value guys on the Dallas side, like Powell, 3,400. Should see 12 to 20 minutes playable, but you just don't feel great getting into the value guys here on Mavericks. It's really just the two guys at the top for me. Milwaukee and Boston, we have Giannis at 12.4. One of those guys, if you can pay up for him, looks great. A little bit of an it's an Eastern Conference Finals rematch here. And they were great against guarding Giannis, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, Giannis, if you can pay up for him, looks great. Drew Holiday, I like him as a pivot play off of Giannis. Should play a ton of minutes. should be that kind of secondary scorer alongside Giannis. Maybe Chris Middleton. We'll have to see if he's back. Missed the game once again tonight. The thing with Chris Middleton, if he's back, no minutes limit. I do really like him there at 6,700. If he's going to be limited to like 25 to 30 minutes, don't really think you need to get there at 6,700. Bobby Portis, fair price for him. If Middleton's back, I'd say Bobby Portis, a little bit less of not the best play, but if Middleton's out, do really like Bobby Portis there at 6,100 as the scorer off the bench. Brook Lopez looks solid. Don't mind me there at 5,900. And then the value guys, I do think Grayson Allen looks like a good value play. Should see around 30-ish minutes. And one of those guys, kind of like a Reeves, not going to score a ton, but they can do the peripheral stats well, and that can be enough to pay off his price tag. Pat Connaughton, kind of the same thing. The minutes aren't as great as Grayson Allen, but he will go out there. He'll shoot threes. He's more of a 3-and-D guy, but he could pay off if he's hitting his threes at 3,800. And then Ingles is back. Played 15 minutes. Played 16. I don't know how many minutes he's playing tonight, but I think he still will be limited around 15, 20 minutes. So with him back, it does eat into the upside a little bit of a guy like Grayson Allen, a guy like Connaughton. But I do think, Allen and Connaughton are fine value plays. And then if Middleton's back, do really like him. If he's out, like Bobby, like Drew, like Giannis. So we'll have to wait on that news. For Boston, we know we're getting from Tatum. Another very solid spin-up play. Brown, I don't love his price tag. He's going to be more of a contrarian play there. I do think people are going to see the price tag and be scared away from it. He has the upside. It's just, it's a lot safer getting to a guy like Tatum. And I do really like the secondary pieces for Boston in this matchup. Marcus Smart should see a good amount of minutes. He's very, very solid. It just comes down to if he's going to hit his shot and get you a steal or a few steals or blocks. Because if he does, 6,100, it could easily pay off that price tag. So I do like him a good amount. Same thing with Brogdon, 5,300. Should see a good amount of minutes off the bench, close to 30. It's kind of limited at 30, but even at that price tag, I still think it's a very, very solid play. He's been great this year for them, so I do like him a good amount. I wouldn't play both of them. I'd just play one of them. I would probably prefer Marcus, but they both look like really, really solid plays. Horford should see pretty solid minutes. I'd say at least 30. He's a very good defender, and he did very well defending Giannis, so I do think they're going to rely on him. Obviously, there's foul trouble that comes with that, but if you can stay out of foul trouble, sees 30-plus minutes, he looks very solid at 5,000. Robert Williams didn't play tonight, but he should most likely be back for this game. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes he plays. He played 18 the first two, 22 the second. I think we can expect, mid-20s, maybe close to 25. I do like taking a dart throw on him at 4,300 because he's very, very productive when he's out there. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see that news if he plays or not. And then White, I guess worth a dart throw. Should see mid-20s off the bench, pretty score independent. But he can get hot, so if you want to take a risky play there, you can. And then Grant Williams should see a good amount of minutes. He did very well guarding Giannis in the playoffs, so I do think we can expect close to 25, if not a little bit more. A great 3-and-D guy, so 3,800. Do like him a good amount. I'm going to throw him in the lineup for now, but there is that foul trouble risk guarding Giannis. If he gets in foul trouble, it's really going to obviously hurt his ceiling, but I do like him at that price tag. Then moving on to probably the best game environment, Memphis and Golden State. I mean, with Ja, it's going to be really hard not to play him here in this spot against Golden State. Really, really, really like him. And then for the secondary plays like Bane, I think he's going to be playing tonight. He participated in shoot-around. He's going to be limited on a minutes limit, most likely. So at that price tag, no need to get to him. But if for some reason he's off of one, do like him there alongside Ja. Jaren Jackson Jr., even with Bane back, I do like Triple J a good amount here. Hasn't seen 30 minutes yet. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes he gets tonight. He's foul prone at times, but in this matchup, he should be able to smash. Really, really like him here at 6,600. He looks fantastic. He has the GPP ceiling that you really want. Obviously, he can have, floor games, mid-20s fantasy points, but he can also go off for 40, 50 plus with the blocks and steals. And then the secondary pieces like a Brooks, you can get to him. He's fine, but with Bane most likely back, don't love getting to Brooks now. He's more of that third option behind Ja, Bane, and Triple J. So he's like a 3-4 option. Steven Adams, don't mind him. He will play the minutes because they do play Kevon Looney on the other side. So he should see 25 to 30 if he's staying out of foul trouble. So don't mind him. He's always a solid tournament option. Can have those random games where he goes off. And then I will mention Santi. He's an okay value play off the bench. Not seeing a ton of minutes, but he's pretty productive when he's out there. So if you need a value play, you can definitely look to him. And then Conchar, I guess you can go to him. He's not been great recently, but he's there. And then Golden State side, Steph unfortunately is not back. So that means Poole is going to lead the team. I'm going to throw him in there. You just got to hope this game stays close because there is that blowout potential. But Clay is also back. Wiggins is potentially back. So let's just assume they're all back right now. I do really like Poole. I do think with Wiggins back, it does limit Poole's upside a little bit, but he should still be the most aggressive on his team. Between Clay and Wiggins, I'd rather get to Wiggins if he's off minutes limit. If he's on one, I think Clay looks like a solid secondary option. With those guys back, DiVincenzo at that price tag, want to get to him. It would take Wiggins getting ruled out for me to have any interest in DiVincenzo. Green's always worth a tournament option here. He does have beef with Memphis, so maybe he steps up this game. He does have that triple-double upside, so don't mind him at 5,800. And the rest of the team, they're just kind of there. You could get to Looney, but everyone's kind of priced up about right. I guess a little overpriced because of those guys being out the past few games, so the value was raised up. But yeah, when it gets to the value on Golden State, unless we got news, one of the main guys was out for some reason. And then the last game, the big news is Devin Booker. Missed the game tonight, but I'm assuming he will be back, and if he is, I really, really like him there at 9,500. Obviously, in this lineup, we can't fit him in, but, you could definitely throw him in there at 9,500 against Denver. Going to be the main scorer, main guy for the team. So with him most likely back, Paul at that price tag, don't love him. That's just a risky contrarian option. Ayton, I still have a good amount of interest in him, even though there is that foul trouble risk of him guarding Jokic, but yeah, he looks very solid at 7,600. And then, you can get to the secondary pieces like I met Cal Bridges. He always has those random games, even with Booker back and the whole team back. He could go off, but I don't love it. I'd rather just stick to Ayton, Booker. Secondary plates are going to be, the Chris Paul, Bridges. I don't think Cam Johnson's back. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be back just yet. So we will get Torrey Craig as the kind of the guy starting in place of him. Campaign might be back. If he is, that just crowds the kind of the guard situation. The guy's off the bench. He would be probably the main guy off the bench when it comes to scoring, but at that price tag, don't love him. Craig's there as well. So Shaman's priced up off 2 huge games. If Payne's back, it really limits Shaman's ceiling, really limits Damian Lee's ceiling. They're all priced up a little bit too high for me. That's really it. The interest really is just going to be Ayton and Booker for me. Secondary plays, you can get to a Paul or Bridges or a Craig, but yeah, don't have a ton of interest in Phoenix besides the 2 main guys. And then for Denver, Jokic, I think he looks great once again. There's just a ton of great spin-up options. Really no strong lead. It really just comes down to ownership, I guess, for where I want to go personally. But yeah, Jokic against Phoenix looks fantastic. I do really like Murray a good amount here at 6,900, going to be that second star on Denver who, should play mid-30s minutes. Has the upside with the points and assists when it comes to double-double, extra points on DraftKings. So he's a guy that never has a lot of ownership in it. But as you can see, he can get you mid-40s fantasy points. And at 6,900, that is a great play. Gordon, I guess he's worth, more of a secondary play for me. He has upside, but I'd rather just get to a Jokic or a Jamal Murray just because they seem a little bit safer. And Gordon, that price tag, don't love it. He can definitely go out there and get you like 25 fantasy points. Porter, he just came back tonight. He's going to be on a minutes limit. I think they're bringing him off the bench, so don't love him at that price tag and the minutes limit. Don't think there's a need to play him. It hurts Bruce Brown's upside as well. He should probably dip down to 25 to 30-ish minutes, which it makes him playable. You could definitely get to him. Just don't love him. We'll have to see what the ownership kind of comes out to. So, he could be a sneaky, just random play there at 5,800, but once again, Porter's back. Don't love the price tag. Don't think there's a need to get to him. And then Bones Highland's always worth a tournament option, but the minutes haven't been great recently. And PJ back, it will cipher some minutes from a guy like Bones. Caldwell Pope missed the game tonight, but, he should be back for this game. If he is, should see close to 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. You can land on him, but at 4,600, you're not getting him at a steal. And then Jeff Green will be that value play, center play, power forward play off the bench. It could see, 20 minutes. Don't mind getting to him. And that's really it for the slate breakdown. Now to finish out the lineup, we have a center option. Let's see here. For the center option, I like taking a shot on a guy like Robert Williams. we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, with all the news, who's in, who's out, could change all the plays. But yeah, right now this is just more of a mock lineup. So we'll have to wait and see what the news turns out to be to kind of make the right pivots and the right value plays. 4,500 left over for the guard situation. Let's see here. Reeves is there. I like him a good amount. Allen, Connaughton. Let's start with forward. Let's see if there's any cheaper forwards we can get to. DFS, Connaughton, Santi. Let's see if we throw in Santi. If it gives us 5,000, who can we pay up for? You can get to Grimes. Don't mind that. Quickly, always a tournament option. But the rest of the guards, you just don't feel great about these guys like Reeves, Bullock, Allen, Connaughton. So yeah, right now let's just go with Grimes. So we obviously get John a great matchup. We get Poole as a bring back. Grant Williams, he should play a good amount of minutes guarding Giannis. Obviously, the foul risk is there. Jaren Jackson Jr. has that huge range. Very low floor, but also a huge ceiling. Robert Williams, kind of the same thing. The minutes limit probably will be there, but he can still get you there in that time. Should be pretty low and could easily pay off, get you 30 fantasy points. Grimes, just a solid value play. Santi, same thing. The minutes aren't, very safe or secure. Probably not the best correlation playing alongside Jaren Jackson Jr., but should be a pretty productive guy off the bench if he gets some minutes. And then Russ has that triple-double upside. So I don't mind this lineup. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see how the news plays out to see if this will be even viable by Christmas morning. But yeah, guys, once again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hit that like button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.